The UK is on edge. The atmosphere is thick with anxiety, and the streets are filled with whispers of uncertainty. People are glued to their screens, waiting for any scrap of information that might shed light on the unfolding drama. Tension hangs heavy in the air. It's as if the very sky is mirroring the nation's mood, dark and foreboding. The sense of unease is almost tangible, a collective breath held in anticipation. An unprecedented event has sent shockwaves through the country, an emergency meeting between the King and the highest judicial authority in the land. This is not a common occurrence. It's a signal that something extraordinary is happening behind closed doors. This is not a drill. This is serious. The news anchors' faces are grave, their voices steady but tinged with urgency. The breaking news banners flash across screens, amplifying the gravity of the situation. Why? Because it speaks to a fundamental unease, a deep-seated worry about the direction of our nation. The questions on everyone's lips are the same. What has prompted this emergency? What could be so critical that it demands the immediate attention of both the King and the top judge? The very foundations of our democracy seem to be trembling. The Union Jack flutters in the wind, a symbol of resilience, yet the scaffolding around Parliament suggests a need for repair, a metaphor for the current state of affairs. The King, a symbol of stability and tradition, is now caught in the eye of a political storm. His usually composed demeanour is now marked by a rare display of concern, reflecting the gravity of the situation. The top judge, a guardian of our laws and liberties, is racing to the palace. The urgency is palpable. Something big is happening. The motorcade speeds through the streets, a visual representation of the haste and importance of this meeting, something that has forced these two figures, normally operating behind the scenes, into a highly unusual and very public display of concern. The people demand answers. The press conference is packed, the air thick with anticipation and speculation. They deserve to know why their king and their top judge look so grave. The expressions on their faces are not just serious, they are deeply troubled, hinting at the weight of the issues at hand. What are they not telling us? The whispers grow louder, the speculation more intense. Investigative journalists are on the case, trying to piece together the puzzle. This meeting, shrouded in secrecy, comes at a pivotal moment for our nation. The dimly lit meeting room suggests that the discussions are far from over and the stakes are incredibly high. It coincides with a series of events that have left the British public bewildered and anxious. It's time for transparency. The protests, the political upheavals all point to a nation in need of clarity and direction. It's time for the truth. The clock strikes midnight, symbolizing a turning point. The nation waits, holding its breath for the truth to finally come to light. Keir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party, has thrown a cat amongst the pigeons. His recent actions have sent shockwaves through the political landscape, leaving many to wonder about his true intentions. He's called for an emergency summit with the European Union. This move has raised eyebrows and sparked intense debate among political analysts and the general public alike. On the surface, it seems innocent enough, a chance to smooth over relations, perhaps. But the timing and urgency suggest there might be more at play here. But beneath the surface, darker currents are swirling. The political atmosphere is charged, and tensions are running high. This summit is about much more than just trade deals and diplomatic niceties. It's a pivotal moment that could redefine the UK's relationship with the EU. It strikes at the very heart of what it means to be British. The decisions made here could have lasting impacts on national identity and sovereignty. It dredges up old wounds, reawakening the ghosts of Brexit past. The memories of the contentious referendum and its aftermath are still fresh in the minds of many. The timing of this summit is no accident. It comes hot on the heels of the top judge's meeting with the King. This sequence of events has led to widespread speculation. Is this a coincidence? I think not. The alignment of these high-profile meetings suggests a coordinated strategy. This feels like a coordinated effort to bounce the UK into a closer relationship with the EU, one that could have far-reaching consequences for our sovereignty. The stakes are incredibly high. The British people voted to leave the EU. This decision was seen as a reclaiming of national autonomy and control. They voted to take back control of their laws, their borders and their destiny. The sentiment was clear and unequivocal. Now it seems those hard-won freedoms are under threat once more. The very essence of Brexit is being questioned. The question on everyone's lips is this: is Starmer trying to reverse Brexit by stealth? Or is he genuinely seeking a better deal for the UK? Only time will tell, but the implications of this summit are profound and far-reaching. The very word sends shivers down the spines of patriotic Britain's sovereignty. It's a concept that has been at the heart of British identity for centuries, a symbol of independence and self-determination. It was the rallying cry of the Leave campaign, the promise of a return to a time when Britain stood alone, proud and unencumbered by foreign influence. It was the promise whispered in hushed tones in pubs and working men's clubs across the land. Take back control. A simple phrase that resonated deeply with those who felt left behind by globalization and disillusioned with the political elite. And for a brief shining moment, it seemed like we had. The streets were filled with jubilant crowds, celebrating what they believed was a new dawn for Britain. We had broken free from the shackles of Brussels. The European Union flags were taken down, and there was a sense of liberation in the air. We were masters of our own fate once more. But now the winds of change have brought with them a storm of uncertainty. Now those old fears are resurfacing. The unease is palpable. People are glued to their screens, anxiously watching the news, trying to make sense of the latest developments. The British people are starting to feel like they're being taken for fools. The promises that once seemed so clear and attainable now feel like distant dreams. They're starting to suspect that the promises of Brexit were nothing more than empty slogans designed to get them to vote a certain way. The slogans that once inspired hope now seem hollow and deceptive. And the more they hear about this EU summit, the more they worry that their worst fears are about to be realised. The headlines are filled with speculation and concern, adding to the growing sense of dread. They see the top judge rushing to meet the king, a meeting shrouded in secrecy, fueling rumours and fears of backroom deals. They see Starmer cozying up to EU bigwigs. The images of handshakes and smiles only deepen the suspicion that something is amiss, and they can't help but wonder, is our sovereignty about to be sacrificed on the altar of political expediency? The question lingers in the air, a haunting reminder of the fragile nature of promises and the ever-present fear of betrayal. Let's not forget what happened in 2016. The British people spoke loud and clear. They voted to leave the European Union. It was a historic vote, a seismic shift in our nation's political landscape. But now, it seems, some people are determined to ignore the will of the people. They're trying to drag us back into the EU's orbit, inch by inch, compromise by compromise. They say it's about cooperation and partnership, but we've heard it all before. These are just weasel words, designed to disguise a deeply undemocratic agenda. The British people are not stupid. They can see through the spin. They know that closer ties with the EU inevitably mean less sovereignty for Britain, and they won't stand for it. The question is, what will they do about it? Will they take to the streets in protest? Will they punish the Labour Party at the next election? One thing is certain, the ghost of the Brexit referendum will continue to haunt British politics for many years to come.